Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where I guess a president can just do whatever they want, this is Ballot.
That's right. The Supremes have weighed in, and the AI can't even write me a good joke about being my baby. Let's hit this. In a dazzling display of judicial acrobatics, the Supreme Court has granted former presidents a golden shield, ensuring they can wield their official powers with impunity. Yes, folks, it's true. If you ever find yourself in the Oval Office, go ahead and do whatever you want. Future prosecutors will need to play an epic game of legal twister to hold you accountable. Chief Justice John Roberts said, "Presidential immunity must be absolute for core constitutional powers." Translation: when the president does it, it's not illegal, especially if it's labeled official. So like if Joe Biden wants to officially take John Roberts' house and money, I guess that's official. Justice Sonia Sotomayor was clearly not a fan of the new presidential immunity fun zone. She warned that this ruling creates a law-free zone for presidents. Cue the nightmare scenarios: assassinations, coups, and bribery, all immune. What could go wrong? Republicans cheered, Democrats cried, podcasters are mad they couldn't run their Gretchen Whitmer profile, and Trump, never one to miss a beat, promptly declared victory on Truth Social. Meanwhile, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez promised impeachment articles against the corrupt justices, although she didn't specify which ones. Details. Down in Fulton County, prosecutors now face a Herculean task as they prepare to combat the Supreme Court's new get-out-of-jail-free card for Trump. Spoiler alert, the legal drama continues. Republicans are celebrating like it's New Year's Eve. They praised the ruling as a blow against what they called the Democrats' witch hunt. Senator J.D. Vance called it a win for the rule of law, because apparently, immunity is the new law. Democrats already in full-on panic mode, they described the ruling as a step toward dictatorship. Eric Holder, ever the wordsmith, dubbed it a monstrosity. The Biden campaign didn't mince words. Well, maybe Joe did. He kinda mumbles. Anyway, they labeled it a handover of keys to a dictatorship, because nothing says stable democracy like an immune president. The Supreme Court has effectively turned the presidency into the ultimate do not pass go, do not collect $200 card. Future presidents can now operate with the confidence that their official misdeeds are untouchable, thanks to the judicial Houdinis of the highest court. Buckle up, America. Our legal roller coaster just hit a new twist. In the latest episode of the Hunter Biden soap opera, the president's son has decided to take on Fox News, accusing them of crossing the line from journalism to revenge porn. Apparently, Fox's miniseries, The Trial of Hunter Biden, which aired in 2022, thought it was a great idea to splash explicit photos and videos of Hunter all over their streaming service. And now, Hunter's had enough. Hunter's lawsuit, filed in New York Supreme Court, claims Fox violated New York's revenge porn law. The series used real-life explicit images found on Hunter's infamous abandoned laptop. Because nothing says hard-hitting news like nude pics and sex tapes, right? Predictably, Fox News called the lawsuit entirely politically motivated and devoid of merit. They argue that Hunter is a public figure and that they were just covering newsworthy events, because sharing someone's intimate photos is totally how you cover news. A Fox News spokeswoman described the lawsuit as a political stunt and reminded everyone that Hunter Biden is a convicted felon. Are we going to start pointing out convicted felons now? Interesting move by Fox. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer made it clear to a senior official in President Biden's campaign, Jennifer O'Malley Dillon, that she disapproved of speculation about her replacing Biden. This conversation, prompted by post-debate despair among Democrats, saw Whitmer distancing herself from any draft Gretch movement and reaffirming her support for Biden despite concerns about his electoral prospects in Michigan. Right, Gretchen totally doesn't want to be the president. I don't want to host The Daily Show either. The fallout from Biden's debate performance led to whispers that Michigan might no longer be winnable for him, adding pressure on Whitmer to clarify her stance. Whitmer's critics seized on the moment to undermine her by suggesting disloyalty to Biden, highlighting the precarious position of Democratic governors with ambitions for higher office. While publicly rallying around Biden, many privately expressed frustration and anxiety over his candidacy's trajectory, wary of being seen as self-serving if they voice doubts. How about some more names that could replace Biden? There's me, you, anybody, and some governors we didn't already talk about on the weekend. By the way, thanks Joe for making me work all weekend. And guess who has to work July 4th weekend now? You'd think you could close things out against a 31-time felon, but I digress. First up, Pennsylvania's own Governor Josh Shapiro. This guy climbed the political ladder faster than you can say liberal on key issues. He's like that student who ran for class president, promising longer recess and pizza Fridays, but ended up giving speeches on serious stuff like raising the minimum wage and protecting abortion rights. Shapiro won his governorship by nearly 15 points in a battleground state. That's like winning an argument on Twitter without blocking anyone. Impressive. Shapiro's youthful energy has Democrats daydreaming about him in the Oval Office. He's been Biden's hype man, telling fellow Dems to stop hand-wringing and start working. That's the political equivalent of put down the Netflix and pick up the phone bank. Next, we've got Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. Hosting the Democratic National Convention in Chicago this year, Pritzker's like the guy who throws the best party in town. And suddenly, everyone thinks he should run for office. He's defended Biden more than your mom defends your awkward middle school photos. Pritzker even invested $500,000 into enshrining abortion rights in Florida's state constitution. Now that's dedication. Or as I call it, political PayPal. During the last debate, Pritzker tweeted, "Voters face a stark choice in November. A president with the experience to fight for hardworking families versus a 34-count convicted felon who cares only about himself." That's some fiery rhetoric. He's the guy at the debate who doesn't just drop the mic, he throws it across the room. Last but not least, we have Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. Winning re-election in a state redder than a sunburned lobster, Beshear's like that guy who shows up to the dance with 2 left feet and leaves with a trophy. He's young, he's popular, and he managed to win statewide as a Democrat in Kentucky. That's like bringing tofu to a barbecue and convincing everyone it's steak. Beshear's response to the idea of replacing Biden? Flattering, but I'm just focusing on all the good things going on in Kentucky. That's a humble brag if I've ever heard one. It's like saying, sure, I might be the hero America needs, but right now I'm just killing it in Kentucky. Eric Schultz, a seasoned strategist who's seen it all, knows this debate was crucial. Sure, Biden didn't come out looking great, but Trump's back on center stage. Many voters didn't believe Trump would actually run again. They suffer from Trumpnesia, forgetting the chaos of his first term. Remember, this is the guy who lost jobs, appointed the justices who overturned Roe v. Wade, and incited the January 6th insurrection. Now that you say that, Trumpnesia sounds kind of awesome. Trump, of course, called ending Roe a great thing and defended the January 6th rioters. He dodged committing to accepting the election results. Biden might have started slow, but Trump's extremism was on full display. Early data suggests he turned off swing voters he needs to win. Schultz reminds us, very few voters will recall this June debate come Election Day. The race will be close, much like 2020 when Biden won key states by narrow margins. Democrats need to make sure voters understand the stakes. Meanwhile, with Biden's campaign scrambling to stave off a crisis, several state governors are quietly positioning themselves as potential substitutes should the need arise. They're staying loyal publicly, but keeping a keen eye on Biden's poll numbers and donor support. The temperature is high, one Democratic governor told Politico, capturing the anxious mood among state leaders. Gavin Newsom of California, a key Biden ally, defended the president after the debate, but also ambiguously hinted at being ready to step up. Wes Moore of Maryland and other governors like Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania and J.B. Pritzker of Illinois have all been mentioned as potential replacements, even as they profess loyalty to Biden. Jamie Raskin, a Maryland congressman, acknowledged the unease, saying there are honest and serious conversations within the party about Biden's performance. Former DNC Vice Chair R.T. Ryback even called for a public push to persuade Biden to step aside, warning that if Democrats lose the election because they didn't act, they'd face severe consequences. Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, a key swing state governor, disavowed any draft Gretchen movement, but reportedly told Biden's campaign that Michigan might be unwinnable for Biden post-debate. This leak suggests that rivals may be trying to undermine her, especially as she gears up for her autobiography tour. Despite the undercurrent of doubt, a Biden aide told Politico, that no governor has the support base to beat Vice President Kamala Harris if Biden steps aside. The campaign is fighting back hard, targeting donors, strengthening ties with Democratic leaders, and highlighting polls showing the debate's impact wasn't as severe as feared. Biden might even be made more available for press conferences to counter the narrative of frailty. But the signs of concern are clear. Democratic congressional candidates are distancing themselves from Biden, fearing that association with him might hurt their own campaigns. Despite public declarations of support, the worry is palpable. There is an enormous amount of affection and deference to the president, but nobody thinks this is sustainable, a senior Democratic aide told Politico. The next few weeks will be critical for Biden's campaign to regain its footing and convince voters that he remains the best choice to lead the nation.